Relax is just sports, and I feel like I don't need to scream relax this week.
I think we're all chill.
I feel like kind of calm.
Yeah, I'm relaxed.
I'm relaxed. I feel like there's a calmness about the Bengals right now, whether for good or for bad. Mm-hmm. Okay, we're going to get into it. We're going to do a quick little deep dive, dive quickly deep into the Green Bay Packers loss. But we got Thursday Night Football tomorrow when this comes out, Wednesday morning, against the Pittsburgh Steelers. We got the UC Bearcats ranked number 24 in the nation in football. That's the first time the Bearcats have been ranked, I believe, since 2022, when they were ranked 22 and went to the Fenway Bowl. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about, because, heck yeah, Bearcats. Some more serious stuff we'll talk about, but we're going to still be on that, try to keep it light. No Cincinnati teams in the Major League Baseball playoffs right now, or really that many Cincy ties. But I don't want to talk baseball, so we're going to talk some baseball. College basketball is legit here. Mm-hmm. So we'll do a little, quick little, hey, college basketball preview, jump in, jump out.
Yeah. And
then, hey, we hear you, we're thinking of you, we're going to speak on you. And then we'll dive in as the season goes. And then, Cincy Dude in the news. Sound good to you?
Sounds great.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. Okay. Bengals. They lose to the Green Bay Packers. It was a tale of two halves where complimentary football couldn't oversect. In the first half, the defense was awesome. It was the best game I saw from cornerback DJ Turner in his NFL career. I think he had 5 pass breakups. The one that forced the interception into Geno Stone, that was big. And I thought Geno Stone looked very good. Mm-hmm. Everyone was saying DJ Turner was probably the defensive MVP. To me, Geno Stone was, but it doesn't matter because in the second half, nobody was. And Trey Hendrickson getting hurt was a little nervy. At the time of recording this, he is day-to-day, and he's not out for the Steelers game Thursday. That's huge because the defense looked completely different with Trey out. A lot of Trey trade rumors. We could probably talk about that a little bit. And the offense, Joe Flacco.
Super California.
No. So actually, I had my first conversation with Joe, one-on-one, or on Monday. So I have seen him in group settings, but this was the first time because he just got there. He's literally living in a hotel, doing a million things. Monday was the first time I could be like, hey Joe, because with every athlete, whether or not I form a close relationship with them, I think every reporter's responsibility is to go up to the athlete, say, hi, this is who I am, this is where I'm from. I'm going to be asking you probably some personal questions, probably mainly about football, but I am going to be grilling you. You at least have the common courtesy to know who I am. Mm-hmm. And if you don't want to know who I am, that's fine, but I'm at least giving you that opportunity. So when I ask you a question at the podium or around your locker, you have the opportunity to dig into my life and mess up with me. But my point is, I just think it's common courtesy. We don't just bark at these people. They're people. First interactions with Joe, super, super cool dude, which is every whatever. But the reason I bring it up after the accent, I'm from Jersey. Joe is from South Jersey. I would say I'm from Central Jersey. And I heard it immediately.
What is the accent?
The A.
What's, okay.
So when he goes bid, you'll notice on the A, it's a downwards A. Water is water. Mm-hmm. Cause I've heard Joe Flacco pressers, but I never think of it. And I think when he was in the Baltimore and South Jersey accent are kind of similar. Yeah. Baltimore is more what Stavros is, Stavi baby. He's go O's. But South Jersey is a lot of A's and water ice. And it's similar to Philly, but different than Philly. Because South Jersey essentially is Philly, where Joe Flacco grew up is 30 to 40 minutes outside of Philadelphia. So whatever, we talked, and I was I said your accent made me feel a warm and fuzzy like home. And he goes, it's the A's, right? I go, it's the A's, and then we play where you're from, whatever. And we got to chat. One thing I was not expecting from shaking Flacco's hand for the first time, it ate my hand. I'm a big dude. Mm-hmm. I'm 6'3". Most locker rooms, I feel like I'm looking eye to eye at guys. What's he listed at, 6'5"?
Somewhere around there. I think close to you, though. I would have assumed he was
way bigger than me.
Yeah.
Way bigger than me. Height-wise.
Yeah.
He came in, and that 40-year-old unk just was yeah. Really, really, really nice guy from our 5-6 minute, how you doing where
Yeah.
you live in.
Nice to meet you combo.
Nice to meet you combo. And he was, and I always respect an athlete who, when you introduce yourself, I'd say it's 50-50. When they go, oh, hi, I'm Marshall. Marshall. Like they like
try to remember.
I'll say this, Joe Burrow did the same thing to me 4 years ago when I introduced myself to him. He goes, say it again, Marshall. And that's not even an ego thing. That's because it's not just me. They do it to everybody who introduces them. Like they take a real minute to, got it, okay. And whether or not they remember, fine, but at least fake it in the moment. So Joe Flacco, that's how we got to that.
Joe Flacco, yeah.
Weird having a quarterback of the Bengals also who is old, a veteran, and has like a full family. Married with, I believe, 5 kids. That's like not Bengali.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I'm used to like Jake Browning's fiance on TikTok, which I love. I love
Burrow
that
girlfriend
energy.
rumors.
Yeah, stuff like that.
And that's fine, but but there's a calming presence about Joe Flacco.
He's giving dad energy to me, fully.
And I kind of think the Bengals need that.
They need a father.
Not daddy, papa.
Dad.
The opposite of the TikTok trends.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a calming energy. So back to the game. He looked great in the second half, Flacco. 2 touchdowns. And I think it's one of the first times he had star wide receivers. And that second touchdown to Jamar Chase, it was like, let me just throw this in Jamar's vicinity and let Jamar Chase be with Jamar Chase. And he let Jamar Chase call an audible at one point. He was here for 5 days. And in the second half against what many consider, I think the Packers are frauds, but I think a good Packers defense that hasn't looked great this year, but they looked competent.
Yeah. No, they looked competent.
I'm excited to see what they could do with like more time. And now it's tough, right? Because like you come off of that and then you have 3 days and now you got to play a division game against the Steelers.
Against a famously good Steelers defense always.
But Mike Tomlin's comments.
Yes.
Mike Tomlin never says something just to say something.
Oh, no.
That's the most calculated man ever.
Mike Tomlin is setting everyone up for the Steelers to lose. And I actually genuinely, going into this week, was like, the Steelers will lose to the Bengals.
Bengals are going to win this game.
Yeah, I 100% believe the Bengals are going to win this game. And as you know, I am not ever positive on the Bengals.
Neither one of us are like standing the Bengals right now.
No, but
we haven't talked about this yet, but I fully was going to say Bengals win this game.
No, I think Bengals win this game. And then when I watched Mike Tomlin's press conference where he just kept talking about, oh, well, Joe Flacco seems to get it. He's totally in. He made digs at Andrew Berry.
That's what I thought was the most interesting.
But
Andrew Berry's the general manager of the Cleveland Browns.
Yes, Andrew Berry, GM of Cleveland Browns, obviously set up the trade to give Cincinnati Joe Flacco. Mike Tomlin doesn't do that. And I think Mike Tomlin only does that when he's genuinely pissed. Like, why would you give another
genuinely
AFC
so what
North
Mike
team?
Tomlin said, right? Like he's, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was something to the effect of, why would you give another AFC North team a quarterback that you thought was good enough to be your opening day starter?
Yeah.
Maybe you're smarter than me, but I don't get that.
Which I think a lot of people think is like a dig just at Andrew Berry, as in you guys are
mad.
stupid. But he's actually just pissed. I think he's genuinely mad that they gave him Joe Flacco. But I think he's also setting everyone up for, hey guys, we're probably going to lose. It's a Thursday night game. Thursday night games are always like weird games, upset games. And you're playing against Joe Flacco, who has played well against the Steelers.
Who has historically done well against the Steelers defense.
Yeah, so,
and Mike Tomlin's not happy about that.
No.
Joe Flacco, I am very encouraged. If there's anyone on a mishmash of short week, whatever, I want the guy with a ton of experience.
Yeah.
And at 40 years old, this is by far the best wide receiver duo he's ever played with. Ever. Like if you think back to his entire career. But I also thought something was really interesting that I don't think we've ever seen out of Joe Flacco in his entire career. And this is a Super Bowl MVP. He's never been in a pass-first offense.
Yeah, he's always had great running backs.
And it's always been great lines, great running backs. It's been the Ravens. That's what they've always been known for. It changed a little bit once they got Lamar Jackson, but that was obviously after Flacco.
And even then, it was defense.
Cleveland, when they did well, Flacco was good, but that was Nick Chubb was going berserker mode as the running back in Cleveland, and he wasn't successful with the Jets when he would come in and he started a few games for the Colts. And
yeah, He actually, I believe, won a Colts game against the Steelers. I could be wrong. But in one of the games he came in for the Colts, he did, in fact, win a game against the Steelers.
Okay,
so this just continues the Joe Flacco Steelers lore.
And Zach Taylor was asked about Joe Flacco having as much experience against Mike Tomlin as he does. Does that help? And Zach Taylor's usually one to give coach speak. He was like, pretty much like, yes, it does. Like, this definitely helps.
I just checked. It was 27-24 Colts
Flacco
in September of last year.
Yeah, so now all this is bulletin board material for the Steelers, for sure. But, I mean, the Bengals season is on the line on Thursday. Like, I know it's on the line because if you could be 3-4 and 2-0 in your division, that's path. That's a path. Mm-hmm. So, Bengals season on the line Thursday. Joe Flacco. I want to talk about one of the things he did say after the Packers game that I thought was incredible. I posted it on Instagram and TikTok. Flacco was asked after the Packers game, hey, you've been around this league, blah, blah, blah. You've been on good stretches, bad stretches, blah, blah, blah. What do you say to the guys in the team? Or do you just kind of let them do their own thing? And he's like, well, I just got here, but I think it could be really helpful to go up to young guys and say, listen, I know you're really upset. And I'm paraphrasing here. I know you're really upset about not being able to do your job. And you are getting worse and harder on yourself because you think you let the whole team down. No one else here is paying attention that you did that because everyone's so worried about themselves. So stop getting all up in your feels and emotions about it and just do your best because it's not that deep. And I was like, who else would say that? Like, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's life advice. Mm-hmm. And that's when I say, like, they need, like, we need dad energy.
We need a father figure.
He's 2 years younger than Zach Taylor. Mm-hmm. Like, I think you need a calming, steady presence in these times who also demands respect. And I think I've just been, in my few days interacting with him, blown away that this man is in the NFL because it just feels like he's a wise person. Mm-hmm. And not that there aren't smart, wise guys in the NFL. There are. There's just few and far between, especially with age and experience, and are normal.
There's not many 40-plus-year-olds, and as we know from the Steelers quarterback, who's also elderly, if we will, quarterback, they are not normal ever.
And it's not even a normal thing with Aaron Rodgers. It's their locker room adds rather than minuses and attention grabbers. Flacco, I feel like he's got his whole career in the background. Mm-hmm. Like, he's become more of a mainstay name because of his age.
Yeah, even in his prime, it was about other players on the
Ray Lewis.
team. Yeah.
It was about Ray Rice.
Yeah.
I just really think this is such a rare opportunity for the Bengals. And that, truthfully, even if the Bengals, and I don't wish this, I don't think it'll happen, go winless under Flacco, I think this was the best thing to happen to this team this year was getting Joe Flacco.
Well, I can tell just in the post-game stuff that I did see, Jamar seemed so, even though they lost, and obviously Jamar got his, but
Jamar made his comments.
And he made his comments, but like you could just tell, at least offensively, everyone was like, I feel good. Like, I feel like we have hope. I feel like there's a chance.
Yeah.
And they did not sound like that after game 3.
Yeah, something's cooking with Joe Flacco. Something is cooking. It's hard to put your exact finger on it. He has the big arm. He got to T. Higgins where T. Higgins is supposed to get the ball. He got to Jamar Chase where Jamar Chase is supposed to get the ball. Things feel like they're going to be okay. We could talk again on Friday.
Yeah.
But I just feel something is cooking with Joe Flacco.
I hope so.
I just do. And I think once that starts to happen, everything else will fall into place. Mm-hmm. The defense won't be on the field as long. It really started with Joe Flacco with that 1 minute and 15-second drive at the end of the first half where Evan McPherson tried for the 67-yard field goal.
Yeah.
And he made it.
And they
called timeout. That would have been the longest outdoor field goal in NFL history.
Yeah, and mind you, I really believe, I've seen a lot of people talk about this, if a kicker is moving and like setting themselves up, running to the ball, you should not be able to call a timeout.
No. I agree with you.
That's
I fully
insane.
agree. I had a question. This has kind of been a positive episode so far.
Yeah.
People online are very much over Zach Taylor living off the Super Bowl and AFC Championship and they're just frustrated about the losing,
Yeah.
which I get it. And they're like, he lives off of those 2 seasons. When are we going to start saying that about Evan McPherson? Just saying. He made huge kicks on the way to the Super Bowl rookie year. Awesome.
I would like to mention, though, and I could be wrong, most of the kicks in the playoffs were not actually groundbreaking kicks. They were groundbreaking for the fact that the Bengals were moving on, but a lot of them were like 30-yard field goals.
Fine. That I will not take away any credit from that because I think a 30-something yard kick with that level and that pressure is harder than a 65-yard kick in that pressure.
But I will just say, like, Evan McPherson was known as being the guy who got it. He wasn't known as, he's not Brandon Aubrey hitting them from like 70 indoors, that kind of stuff.
Oh, he's hitting 60-plus yarders, though. He was known like that, having a huge leg.
Yeah, I haven't seen it since.
But that's what I'm saying. And then we've talked a lot with McPherson and coming into camp, because last year he was not good before he got hurt, about how it's all mental. And the best part of that run to the Super Bowl and the AFC Championship were that he was making mentally difficult kicks.
Yeah.
And I'm not blaming him for the 67-yarder, but I'm just saying, I don't know. It's something I'm keeping my eye on because when is that going to flip?
That's an interesting take. I don't disagree with you at all. I will say the difference between Evan McPherson and Zach Taylor and their previous success, is that Zach Taylor always mentions it and is getting interviewed. And Evan McPherson is not getting interviewed and therefore does not say, but do you guys remember the time that I made those kicks?
Yeah, it's
we're not
a PR
really talking
thing.
to him.
Yeah, I get that. And when I've asked Evan about it, he's always straight up. He's like, it's mental. I'm working on the mentals, blah, 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 blah.
Well, keep working, brother.
And he was perfect this year up until then, but they're barely kicking field goals. I just something I'm putting out there that, no, I don't want to create like super negative energy, but like that's something I'm noticing.
Well, the Bengals are well known for keeping people way too long. Not saying that they are keeping them too long, but they are well known for keeping some of their favorites.
Yes, their favorites. Like, okay, we're not going to get nitty gritty, but like I never understood. I still don't fully understand why Cal Adamitis, the long snapper, got cut.
That's true.
I'm biased because I love Cal as a person. Nicest human being. Was like, he's awesome. He got a game ball. It just feels like other people have been getting blamed. Doesn't matter. Happy the Bengals feel calm, and it just seems like it might be okay. And I also think I have this circled. This is the Chase Brown breakthrough game.
I hope so, man. I'm wishing the best for Chase Brown always.
Yeah, I think this is the breakthrough game.
I would like to talk a little bit about Aaron Rodgers, the energy that the Steelers have.
What do they call it? The Unk Bowl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Battle of the Unks is what I put on there. But yeah, I like that a little bit better, a little bit cleaner.
Yeah, Battle of the Unks.
Yeah. But Aaron Rodgers, also old, also a little silly, goofy, crazy. I think we can all agree
stretched.
That. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers, though, 4-1.
And before we deep dive Aaron Rodgers, so I have a couple friends who worked in Milwaukee and Green Bay and followed Rodgers when he first got drafted and followed him for a decade. Mm-hmm. And I was so against this early on. They're kind of like Joe Burrow kind of reminds me of Aaron Rodgers, like the off the field stuff. Mm-hmm. And I was like, no. And I'm like, oh, maybe.
Really?
Not like ayahuasca, like going on darkroom retreats, but they were just like when Aaron first came into the league, he was this nice guy, really smart, kind of introverted, didn't love doing media, but would do it. And then we just saw things like he started to become bigger, and he started to become bigger than Green Bay, and they're just like, we see this, and I'm kind of starting to see it.
What is the phrase like? I do not understand, but still I stand. I don't understand what Joe Burrow does with his bracelets and with his aloe. Like, I don't care. I will stand in between him and Aaron Rodgers comparisons.
And I'm not saying that like they're the same person right
No,
now. That's not what I'm trying to get at.
I just want to put that out there.
All these people were saying it to me. And
Not
I'm just saying,
on my watch. He will not become Aaron Rodgers on my watch.
Noted NFC North follower. Okay. So, I'm just saying. Anyway, so Aaron Rodgers, I think he had a lot of football left when he was playing with the Jets last year. I think the Jets only got rid of him was because of Aaron Glenn becoming their new head coach.
Which I support.
And I knew Aaron Rodgers was still good if Mike Tomlin wanted him. Mike Tomlin doesn't make wrong decisions when it comes to football. Oh, yeah? Tell me.
Do we want to talk about other quarterbacks they've had?
He didn't pick those guys.
Well, he played Kenny Pickett.
I think that was more of a what you're dealt with than what you do. Because he needed cheap quarterbacks.
Perhaps.
Well, the last well-paid quarterback they had was Ben Roethlisberger.
Sure. But I'm like, post Ben Roethlisberger, it's not like we've been making A-plus decisions up in Pittsburgh.
They've been making it to the playoffs.
Yeah, but a lot of that's on the back of the defense, which is what Mike Tomlin cares about.
Sure, but if Mike Tomlin was willing to take so these other quarterbacks were all safe bets.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, okay, we'll see what happens with Kenny Pickett. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We'll see what happens with Russell Wilson. If it doesn't work, we have Justin Fields. If those don't work, it doesn't work. Aaron Rodgers, as you're like tiptoeing around it, is a risk.
Yeah.
Like, he's not someone you want to bring into it, like, because he could be a locker room cancer, which he's proven in Green Bay and in New York.
But I do think, not that these are the same people at all, and I think it's like a disservice to call him a cancer, but I do think that at the time that Russell Wilson came, people were really off on Russell Wilson. They were like, get him out of here. We're tired of his like phony BS. He's annoying the entire team. He gets on everybody's nerves. They still brought him in. They still played him.
From what I understand, the Russell Wilson and Denver thing was half a bad season of clashing, and it just never recovered. Like, I don't think Russell Wilson was like a guy who was like consistently like everyone got the ick from. I think it
felt like they got.
I think they got the ick early, and then
Let's Ride. They got it during the Let's Ride era. Yeah.
That he had his own office in Denver.
Yeah, and he had a home that had like 20 bathrooms and like 2 bedrooms, and that's just a fact that I remember about it.
When he gets sponsored by Subway. Okay, that was mean.
But I think that I don't ever love their quarterback decisions, and I was not shocked that Aaron Rodgers went there because looking around the league, Aaron Rodgers needed to go somewhere. There weren't a lot of places.
But the Steelers didn't have to ask him. The Steelers could have drafted a quarterback.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, look, Jackson Dart looks great in New York.
Yeah.
Like there were
Giants had a higher pick.
Right, but they could have packaged something. Well, my point is they could have done something.
Sure.
I'm not saying it would have been Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Dylan Gabriel's a 3rd-round pick right now, and he started.
Bad.
Yes, I'm just saying, like, there are options.
Yeah, but I also think the Rooneys and that,
like Jameis Winston was looking for a home.
Yeah, I think they were like, you know what, let's risk it. He's over 40. If he's bad, we'll do as the Jets did and get rid of him. Right. I don't feel like it was as big of a risk, honestly.
I think it is because the difference being the off the field stuff that it could poison a locker room, and you brought in and like you clearly, in my opinion, there was a locker room issue, and that's why they got rid of George Pickens.
Yeah, he's doing great.
Sometimes you just need to change the scenery. Like he went to Dallas, George Pickens looks great, and DK Metcalf I think looks great on the Steelers.
Yeah.
I spoke to a lot of the Bengals about DK Metcalf specifically. Well, I talked to both of them, but just brought up DK Metcalf. They are like, he's a specimen.
I mean, he is.
He is a specimen. So I was asking them, so like, I spoke to Geno Stone and DJ Turner, like, how do you deal with that? And I really like Geno Stone, what he had to say, because he's like, listen, he's strong, he's fast, he's good at physical matchups, he's going to win. He said he reminds me a lot, and Geno Stone used to play for the Ravens, reminds him a lot of Derrick Henry. You just can't let him get going. So I think we're going to see a lot of like trying to stop DK and like just slow him down in the first 5 to 8 yards.
And I hate to be this person because the Bengals have done such a good job of not getting penalized. It's been proven if you get DK angry, get into a fight, that will set him off. That's like a proven.
But I'm not
entity.
saying getting into a fight.
No, but I'm
talking
saying
about being
if they wanna get him in trouble, that works every time. If
you're saying piss him off and then he's gonna lose it. Okay.
Yeah. I'm saying unfortunately we'll have to sacrifice like a pass interference from somebody, but you will get DK off.
Taylor Britt's on the bench right now. He's the guy I'd be calling.
That's the first person I thought of.
He's the guy I'd be calling.
Cam Taylor Britt, come on down.
Cam Taylor Britt gets flags thrown at him when he plays Monopoly with his family. He can talk with the best of them.
Put him on DK for just the first series. DK will be going absolutely crazy. Will be causing problems for the Steelers.
They could also be up 7-0.
Probably not. Just based on the history of DK, probably not. So just saying, Cam Taylor Britt, now's your time to shine.
Yeah, if they let him get on the field, the fall of Cam Taylor Britt's been frustrating because I think it's all mental with him, man. It's just all mental because his intangibles are so good. He's smart. He used to be a quarterback. We've seen him make great plays, but he's never been the same player since week 2 last year when he made a one-handed interception on Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
And I think they've gotten on him about it, and not about the interception. They've gotten on Cam, and I think he's just in his head.
Maybe a reunion with Lou would help him.
Lou Anarumo, the now DC for the Colts, looks like Lou Anarumo. It looks fantastic.
It just picked up another former Bengal that he used to have.
Jermaine Pratt.
Yep.
I think Mike Hilton's on the P squad right now.
So he's just collecting them.
Lou's always had his guys. That's why Eli Apple came because he was his guy, I think, on Miami and New York. Mm-hmm. So Aaron Rodgers. He gets the ball out so fast, which so does Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco's getting the ball out in like 2.1 seconds. But Aaron Rodgers, he's seeing the game really well. They don't have a good run game, the Steelers, which is not typical of them. I think this is going to be fun. It's a fun Thursday game, honestly, because we're talking about two guys who probably don't recover the quickest, so they have to recover very quickly. I think the preparation advantage, believe it or not, goes to the Bengals.
100%.
Because Zach Taylor said he could still add a lot of things quickly into these 2-3 days leading into the game, like schematically. And the Steelers have no idea what they're looking at because they're not used to Joe Flacco being a quarterback for the Bengals. So I think it's going to be weird.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah.
I have faith.
And they know how big of a game this is. This is for all intents and purposes, this is a playoff game because if you're 2-5.
You're 2-5, and just for reference, the other two teams in the division are abysmal currently.
Right, but then the Steelers are 5-1.
Yes.
And then you're really uphill climbing.
Yeah.
I think 9-8 could win this division.
I agree.
Which is crazy because 9-8 used to be the only team left out of this division. And I think Baltimore's about to change. Baltimore's on a bye, I believe. Lamar's supposed to be back after the bye.
Yeah.
And Cleveland is bad, but as of right now, so are the Bengals. So we'll see. I'm cautiously optimistic. Is there anything else we need to hit on this Steelers-Bengals game? I'm excited. I'm excited to see Mike Tomlin angry because he was clearly frustrated.
Yeah.
And I have not seen him that mad and on a Monday presser in a minute.
Yeah. Probably since he had Antonio Brown and company.
Well, did you hear him when he walked off?
He said, "Y'all are making me angry today," or something.
Y'all are annoying me today.
Yeah.
I think the world got to see it on the Hard Knocks last year in the season. Everyone just fell in love with Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
Which is now I get why everyone wants to run through a wall for this guy.
Only thing I wanted to mention. We saw that Brian Callahan, this isn't specifically
this I wanted
about
to talk
the Steelers.
about. Yeah.
We saw that Brian Callahan, former OC for the Bengals, got fired from the Titans job.
Yeah, my social media clip on that kind of popped off with people really liking the idea that I had from this.
Yeah, so you mentioned on the last pod your dream scenario is?
You get Bill Callahan. Brian Callahan's father is I think he just left. Did he not? I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure he just left the Titans with his son.
I believe he did, yes.
So Bill Callahan is a Hall of Fame caliber offensive line coach. He went to the Titans to work for his son for the first time ever. And I've heard Brian Callahan talk about this on a podcast before, that he was on the fence. Do I hire my dad? Do I not? And he's like, I'm going to hire my dad.
The legend, yeah.
Yeah, well, I get it. I guess it was an emotional thing, a big moment. Also, Brian Callahan did not get enough time in Tennessee. A year and a half where you get the first overall pick, come on. Do better, Titans.
Owner's decision.
Dumb. Dumb decision is what it was. But Bill Callahan, Hall of Fame caliber. Brian Callahan's like one of Zach Taylor's best friends in the world, who was the offensive coordinator for the Bengals. Give Bill a call. Hey, Bill, what you doing? You want to be you and Brian, why don't you come down to Cincinnati? I'll take you out.
It's 3 hours away.
Yeah, be an offensive advisor. Make him the new offensive line coach. Well, because Peters is still going to stay the offensive line coach, but make him be an advisor, because I do think individually these offensive linemen are good. This is what I said on the podcast last week. I think they don't know how to play together, and their scheming is bad. Even though Joe Flacco was only sacked one time last game. Mm-hmm. But I think everything, I just feel that Bill Callahan could save a lot, and I think they should bring Bill Callahan into Cincinnati as an advisor. We've seen it before. Robert Saleh.
Robert Salah.
Robert Salah. Rob Salah.
Rob Saleh.
He just
exited. Know, yeah.
I've taken him out of my brain. He wound up being an advisor for the Packers, literally 2 days after he was fired from the Jets.
Yeah.
Because of Matt LaFleur, those whole connections. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think I wouldn't be surprised if the Callahans are at Paycor Stadium in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Maybe at the bye.
Would only be good for the Bengals.
No.
Couldn't be bad.
Couldn't be bad, because what's the worst thing that happens?
Yeah.
And Brian Callahan's a really good building guy. He's a guy who can kind of seamlessly fit in, and Dan Pitcher was underneath him as the quarterback coach. Now Dan Pitcher took his place as the offensive coordinator. I think we should see Bill Callahan in this building helping out the offensive line, even if it's not an official role, just being around as a favor. But something I'm sure will get worked out. Yeah, that was pretty big news. Mm-hmm. A lot of crazy firings this weekend. I know this wasn't on the list, but James Franklin at Penn State. Yeah, that was only in the works for 4 or 7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw bookies.com, one of the many places that just sends out odds for things. Currently has Mike McDaniel as top next choice to get fired, and actually right behind McDaniel's Zach Taylor.
Those are the people who don't know the Bengals, though, because the Bengals aren't going to fire someone mid-season.
Yeah.
And they're not going to fire Zach Taylor if they're bad without Joe Burrow. They're just, I think Zach's job is safe. I think if this happened with Joe, it'd be bad. You can't blame a coach who loses his quarterback. I just don't think, especially, you could blame a coach who loses his quarterback if it was a quarterback battle. You can't blame a coach who loses his quarterback if you don't invest in a backup quarterback and your quarterback isn't all pro. Mm-hmm. You can't blame a coach for that. Let's talk about a good team, huh?
Yeah, let's talk about UC.
Holy cow. The Bearcats played a bad game against UCF on Saturday. They were bad. They won 20-11, 2 touchdowns to Jeff Caldwell. So, okay, shameless plug. I interviewed Jeff Caldwell for Bearcats All Access this week. Mm-hmm. It's a must-watch.
Which comes on at what?
11:30 a.m. on Saturdays on WCPO. And if you're not in Cincinnati or you don't get WCPO, we usually post them on YouTube. I don't know if it's us or UC posted. That's above my pay grade. Interesting dude. A bird watcher.
Okay.
He's from the Louisville area, very an extroverted introvert. Answers this and really, I don't know. This guy, I was just sitting there laughing for 15 minutes. This guy's crazy, but in a good way. He had a post-game press conference after the UC game, and I was in where he was just talking back in a polite, funny way. I don't know. This guy has a very good charm to him. I recommend it. I haven't met too many 21-year-old bird watchers before.
I have not either.
No. But he had 2 touchdowns. That's the reason I bring it up. 2 touchdowns. Brendan Sorsby didn't look great. The offense didn't look great. And I loved what Satterfield said to me after the game when I was like, how do you make sure this team doesn't get complacent? Because you're now 5-1, 5-game winning streak, 3-0 in conference play. How do you make sure that this offense does not get complacent going forward, because you're playing a 1-5 Oklahoma State team? And he goes, they're not going to get complacent. Believe me, we're going to rip into them this week. And I was like, okay, coach. I'll give Satterfield credit. He says what's on his mind. And then I'll call him out in our one-on-ones about coach speak. He goes, I know you're going to talk to me about coach speak, but some of it's just real speak. Yeah, the Bearcats are for real. They play 1-5 Oklahoma State. If they win, They're bowl eligible for the first time since Coach Satterfield. Wait. Also, they're ranked number 24 in the country.
Yes.
Coaches poll, AP poll. That's the first time they're ranked, I'm pretty sure, since 2022.
Yeah.
The Fenway Bowl. UCF is never an easy game for them. It was fall break, so Nippert Stadium was like half empty. They're going to Oklahoma State, 8 o'clock game Saturday night. They should beat with that said,
Oklahoma State, who just fired their
head coach. They're 1-5. Their only win was against an FCS school.
Yes.
It is homecoming. It is a night game. It is at Oklahoma State. In college football, these things matter.
Sure.
Make it not matter.
Yeah.
It
shouldn't matter.
Go beat Oklahoma State 38-3 because that's what you are capable of. This is a good offense, a really good offense, a very good defense that is now coming into their own mold. What's interesting about this UC's games that I was talking to Satterfield about, they very often will be not having the ball for very long. They one of the lowest times of possession in the Big 12 because they're scoring fast and their defensive style is like that quote bend don't break. UCF outgained them in yards, and UCF never got the memo that we're leaving the AAC and this is the Big 12 now. They just kept on taking UC scraps of players and not getting the dudes, which is crazy to me because you're fully in Florida. So I'm excited for this game. In the fact that I want to see Cincinnati knock the ever-living boots off of the Oklahoma State Cowboys. What are your thoughts?
I'm with you completely. UCF kind of flops.
Yeah.
Right? So, okay, you prove that you can beat decent teams. You've proved that you can beat bad teams. Let's keep proving it at a bad team instead of at home.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
On homecoming, and so I think this game is actually a very good thing for UC. That you're going up against a bad team in a great environment.
It's not a noon game that nobody's at.
And I think, it's, national spotlight's always good. But I think in an environment game like this, against a team that isn't going to just outball you, like they could beat you, but they're not going to outball you, is very helpful for the bigger games down the road. The games, you can't look past things, but I have my eyes on Utah and BYU as the two biggest games left on their schedule. So... And then they got Baylor at home the following week. Can't look past this game, but I think being bowl eligible is, as silly as that sounds, such an important thing because last year they were 5-2 and lost every single game the rest of the way.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Beat Oklahoma State. Some sad news from UC. Jim Kelly, absolute legend. He passed away. Jim Kelly was a 3-year standout in the 70s for UC. 35 years he spent as the radio color commentator for Bearcats football games. He did some of the coaches show stuff. And Jim was just such, a positive light. Like, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I was Jim's best friend. Like, I liked him, but we weren't, getting dinner together. But I'll never forget my first time covering Bearcats football. I walked into the press conference. It was Luke Fickell at the time, and they had some food everywhere, and I'm the new guy on the block. I'm in my mid-20s, and Jim came over to me and goes, "Hey, you must be new. I'm Jim. Nice to meet you." I didn't say who he was, and I'm gonna be honest, I didn't know who he was. I've come to learn who he is and the legend that he is, and he was just such a kind person. He was, I believe, 71, I want to say, and he was still so relatable. He was funny. He took a genuine interest. He would listen to people, and I see other people who have. Dan Horde who was his broadcast partner for 26 years, I think, had a beautiful tribute on his Facebook to him. From my understanding, Jim loved nothing more than the Bearcats. He had offers out of high school. I think he played at Moeller.
He did, yeah.
He had offers to play at Tennessee.
He's in Moeller's Hall of Fame. Yeah, he's great.
But he had offers to go anywhere, but he wanted to play for his hometown team. And his dad was a coach as well, and his dad never left Cincinnati because he wanted to raise his kids in Cincinnati. And he's a local legend, and it's sad, gone too soon. I saw him a few weeks ago. He was on campus on Friday, I believe, because the 1975 team had a bunch of guys there, a little reunion. Really sad. 71 is young, and I saw him right before the game in Kansas City earlier this year, and I mean, you never know, but I didn't see anything different. And again, I wasn't that close with him, but he was always so kind, always, how are you? How's your day going? How are things at Channel 9? Like just a nice person, and loved the Bearcats. And that guy would just go on. And it was funny because people would talk about UC football and the history of it or whatever, and he would sit there, like I've noticed this, he would sit there and smile. Not because, he knew more than all of us in the room, but him sitting there and smiling, I genuinely believe that he was just smiling, that people cared about Cincinnati Bearcats football.
Yeah.
I'd like to believe that. But yeah, gone too soon, but leaves behind amazing memories, a lot of people, just thinking and praying for him and his family and his friends and all that stuff. Hard pivot.
Yeah. No way to get out of that.
Beat Oklahoma State for Jim. How about that?
Sure.
That's like what the Brewers are doing.
Yeah.
Play for Bob Uecker. Same thing. Yeah, there's no easy way to get out of that. But yeah, thinking of Jim and like I said, Bob Uecker. Unless there's anything else you want to talk about with the Bearcats.
No, I'm good.
Bob Uecker is who the Brewers are playing for. Real quick baseball stuff. I just love baseball. And the NLCS and ALCS. And I've been going off about it on social media. So at the time I was recording this, we don't need to get into the nitty-gritty of the games at all. I just think the matchups have been interesting. The cities have been fun, watching Toronto versus Seattle, even though Seattle went into Toronto and beat the poop off of them in 2 games straight. Can I say poop?
Yeah, you can.
All right, poop. And then Dodgers-Brewers. The best play I've ever seen in my life was in the Brewers game. Did you see that play?
I saw it, yeah.
Robs a home run after catching. So you'll have to look up the play, but if you haven't seen it, center fielder for the Brewers, robs the home run, pops up, catches it, throws it home, gets the play at the plate. That's Angel in the outfield, Bob Uecker, the former voice of the Brewers. But, it's the Monstars, it's the LA Dodgers.
Yeah. Well, and as a Cubs fan, I don't know if Reds fans believe this as well, but Cubs fans, I would have cheered for the Reds if they had made it past the Cubs. There is no world, there's no earth, there's no universe where I will ever cheer for the Brewers, nor do I cheer for the Dodgers. So that's a wash for me. I'm cheering for whoever comes out of the American League.
One of the things the walking drove me absolutely insane.
The Brewers are known for that.
But the Dodgers did it too.
Yeah, I know.
Dodgers almost blew it because of walks on game 1. I like for baseball because I want baseball to be as big. I want baseball to be the number 1 sport in America again. Never going to happen, but I want it to be. I love that every team, maybe not the Brewers, a little bit the Brewers, not really the Brewers, the least out of all of them, have a super fun superstar.
Trying to come up with the Brewers one.
Yeah. I think Jackson Churrio's on his way.
Okay.
He's not there yet because he's so young. I think Churrio's on his way. I think Contreras is really fun. I know. But
disgusting.
Okay, but that's good.
To me,
but that's good. I want you to hate him.
Contreras is like a copy. He's trying to be Vladdy Jr.
I think he's trying to be, yeah.
I see that a lot. After they beat the Cubs, he did the Cubs lose. And I was it doesn't have the same ring that it did with them.
No, the Brewers, but that's kind of the Brewers. We thought it was going to be the Miz.
Yeah.
Les Miz is, but no, I think it's going to be Jackson Chourio. I think he's a stud. He's just 20 years old. But, pick your poison. Oh my God, did you see Freddie Freeman's dad dance?
Yes.
When he got on second base, that cracked me up. Obviously it's Shohei for the Dodgers, but Freddie Freeman, the Mookie Betts, the Monstars. But I love Cal Raleigh, and if the Mariners can hit without Cal Raleigh, holy cow, are they dangerous. They can win the whole thing. And I love Vladdy Jr. Mm-hmm. And there's other dudes on the Blue Jays too. The Blue Jays were in Buffalo. I think we'd be talking a lot more about them. That's all we really need to get into about baseball, unless there's anything else you really want to unless there's anything else we really want to hit. I
just wanted to note, because basketball is, of course, coming up too. Yeah. NBA is coming up. We don't have an NBA team. But I thought it was so funny. Tyrese Halliburton. Who's
Pacers, right?
Pacers star, yeah. Tyrese Halliburton from Milwaukee area, mm-hmm. right? So, obviously, he should be cheering for the Brewers. He was supposed to throw the first pitch of a game last year for the Brewers. They canceled on him because he eliminated the Bucks in the playoffs.
That's right.
Because of that, despite that being his hometown team, every single preseason game that he's played in that the Brewers are playing in, he is wearing a jersey of the team they play. So he wore a Cubs jersey.
Tyrese Halliburton's Kevin Durant level of troll.
Yeah, he's worn a Shohei Ohtani jersey yesterday for the game.
People, I think basketball fans, because he plays for the Pacers, it's tough because so many people don't like the Pacers. In our area, a lot of people do like the Pacers because they're the closest geographic NBA team. But I feel like a lot of people don't like the Pacers just because of their history, Reggie Miller, etc. And this is not the Knicks fan in me. This is just in general. I just feel like people don't like the Pacers outside of. But like he talks a lot, Halliburton.
Yeah.
But on that Olympic run with Team USA, when he like wasn't playing and making TikToks and like there for the
making
vibes,
Gatorades and
he won America over.
Yeah,
like that's how a superstar takes that role well. And the truth of the matter is, the next time Team USA plays, Halliburton's going to be a role player.
Yeah.
But I like Tyrese Halliburton.
No, he's so much fun.
Which as an Knicks fan, I probably shouldn't say, but like I really like him.
He's so much fun. He's very petty, and I love a petty star.
And his shot makes me so confused. I like it.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's weird.
Former Big 12 star.
Iowa State, who lost to the UC Bearcats in football when they were ranked 14 in the country, with the biggest home win at Nippert Stadium since 2006.
I wonder if that impacted Tyrese.
No, he was on Big Noon Kickoff one day though, and it was like clearly he was not.
He's not paying attention to football.
He's playing against the NFL.
Yeah.
But no, that's Tyrese Halliburton's petty. We needed someone to take over the Kevin Durant throne of petty. What was Kevin Durant's his favorite tweet? He's like, talking about Twitter, I turn this app on, go 100, turn it off. So we needed someone like that in the NBA. Okay, speaking of hoops, college basketball. Next week we're talking about exhibitions already.
Yeah.
We'll hear on Wednesday morning from Wes Miller and the Cincinnati Bearcats. If my iPad will work. Yeah.
The media days for the Big 12 and Big East are next week. Very exciting stuff. Will either school, Xavier or UC, be good? To be seen. TBD.
TBD for sure.
No Sean Miller for Xavier. That'll be a journey.
Cincinnati lost a lot, including Jizzle James, who we still don't really know what happened.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either. He's still technically in Cincinnati per Instagram, but no longer on team.
On the Bearcats. I think it's all on the line for Wes Miller this year, job-wise. I like Day Thomas, who's coming back for his third year as the Bearcats point guard. He'll probably be the face of the team, I would guess. But Bearcats, I don't know what to expect. Okay, I want to know every single year, and I fall for this trap too. But like it's usually a national college basketball reporter goes to a UC practice, and they're like, oh, the Bearcats are deep and super talented, and they're going to be a tough out. They haven't made the tournament since 2019.
Yeah.
Who do they know? Where's the body?
I mean, the Big 12 is loaded, so you have to.
And UC's going to be good by all. They're not going to finish in like last. They could make the tournament. I don't know.
Yeah.
I need to see it.
Yeah, and I do think when basketball season rolls around, that is when I will force the podcast to talk about UK as well.
No, talk Kentucky.
Yeah.
UC just got a guy who played 9 games from Kentucky last year.
Yeah.
Krista. Chrissy.
Krista.
There's no T.
It's Krista. Like it's like an A at the end.
Well, I said that name wrong on the show coming up on Saturday. But he only played 9 games from UK. That was why.
He was
for
hurt.
Arizona. Yeah, 9 games. That's why. He played for Arizona, West Virginia, and then.
Yeah, he's a really fun guy. He's a really good
He seems that way.
That way. He's interesting.
I just was hoping it's not CJ Frederick 2.0.
No, he's not the same energy as Frederick.
No, I know. I just think of like guys that played at Kentucky and then come to Cincinnati.
Yeah. No, I'm really excited for UK basketball. I also will be going to UK football this weekend. They play Arch Manning in Texas.
Okay. Oh, that's right. That's fun.
Yeah.
Texas coming off a huge win against Oklahoma.
Yeah, and they need all the wins they can get.
Texas back.
Don't know about that.
Are you going to horns down?
Yeah, I will. Just for vibes.
Can you please post a horns down?
Yes, I will.
Okay, so that's where I am with UC. Xavier, I think it's a steep road up ahead for them. I like the Richard Pitino hire. Really like the Richard Pitino hire.
You loved it when it was announced, yeah.
I think it's a great hire. Year one, he has to build a roster from scratch. Him and I talked about this. It's like, yeah, you literally are building from nothing. And I think in the modern day of NIL and everything, like Xavier's a really hard sell for recruits. Like you want to play in the Big East. Like Richard's a good coach. rather play for Pops.
Yeah, who's right there.
In New York City and at St. John's. Rather play for UConn. I think Xavier's a hard sell for recruits, and I think you just brought up Texas, Sean Miller. I think Sean Miller saw the writing on the wall, and Sean Miller, fun fact, his last win as the Xavier head coach was against Texas in Dayton in the round of 68.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I feel about Xavier. But I could be so wrong. He could have some guy from Eastern Europe who's going to come and score 45 points by game one. I don't know. I'm not as giddy about Xavier basketball as I have been in years past. But you have to give 3 years.
Yeah.
I truthfully believe for college sports it's 5 years because it's different now with transfer portal, but I was a big believer in you have to give your first full recruiting class of time to be seniors. Now we won't see that, but who knows? Maybe we'll get Rick Pitino's scraps that don't go to St. John's and want more playing time.
Yeah, I'm not a huge, well, obviously I just said I was a UK fan, so not a huge Pitino girl in general, both.
But he's a great coach.
But I've not really seen Richard succeed at a high level. He succeeded at a mid level.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to see what happens
I
here.
think he wasn't ready for the Big Ten job in Minnesota, and I think he would admit that. Like, I've spoken to him about the Minnesota job, and then he went to New Mexico, that he's like, you learn a lot from that kind of level of basketball. So I like that he has the Big Ten experience. I like that he went and was very successful at a mid-major level.
Yeah.
And now I want to see, can he do it in the Big East with a team that had, listen, I think Xavier's in a better spot than, DePaul.
Yeah.
But I do think the Big East is going to be tough for them, especially this year. Okay. Any other hoops you want to talk about?
I think we can talk about our Cincy dude in
Dudette.
the news, who is also a hoop star.
Yeah, D. Alexander. If you want to know about D. Alexander, go to our website because I think Mike Dyer's done 1,010 features on this young woman. She's a stud.
Yeah.
What you got here? Cincinnati native and the highest ranked recruit in UC history. Listed as a Big 12 preseason freshman of the year. UC's lucky to have her.
That's what I'm saying. The first time that UC women's basketball has had such honors.
Yeah, I watched her many times in high school. She was always the best player on the court. She was on at least Team USA. Oh, they have a million Team USA things now. But
yeah.
Team USA, the only reason I am excited about Cincinnati women's basketball is to see D. Alexander hopefully tear it up as a freshman.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to see it too.
Yeah. All right, anything else?
No, I think we're good.
All right, Bengals season on the line. UC could be bowl eligible. Everything else was just chitter chatter. Cool. All right, thanks. Make sure to subscribe, Spotify, Apple, all the places you get your podcast, YouTube, and thanks. See you next week.